I can't stop dancing.
Well, number one son.
So what is okay, if I reveal my cards and I have the
And I knew we were about to go into quarantine, so. Hey, look at that.
Hey. I would say good morning to everybody, but it's already 1 o'clock.
For us, it's 9 a.m.
Yeah.
I'm not even kidding. We just had this conversation. We get up and we immediately come down here and start running around like crazy. It is 9 a.m. for us right now.
Yeah, it's kind of nuts. It's true though. But every time, we come down here, I'm like, cool. I got 3 hours to work on stuff. I got some time. And then I know it's like 12:30. I'm like, oh, I got 30 minutes. Shit.
Boom. Done. Just like that.
Done, son.
Right before we started, you were like, wait, what's this Blockbuster game? I've never played that. I thought you had. Oh shit.
Oh no. So Emily and I have been looking for this game for a couple days, and we can never find it. But I'm very, very, very excited to play this game. I've heard good things about it, but
it's really fun.
Yeah,
it's really fun. Welcome to Camp Social Distance here on HyperRPG, our HyperCast daily podcast of everything that's going on in our world and the outside world. I am Zach Eubank, Zach Lim Eubank. I am the CCO here at HyperRPG, and I'm stuck in this house with this guy.
Hi, I'm Adam Hlavik. I'm an executive producer here at HyperRPG, and I'm stuck here with Zach. But who's
together.
Who's really stuck here with who? That's the big question.
Kaiju stuck here with all of us.
That's true. That's true. The dog is the most sane person in this house at this point.
That's very true. It's normal. It's just normal life for him. He's like, why are you all going crazy?
It's true. But guys, welcome so much for everybody who's watching on Twitch and on YouTube. Thank you for being here. We are doing this every single day. We are live streaming starting at 1 p.m. Pacific time, and we usually go anywhere between 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. Every single day. We start the day off with HyperCast. It is our daily podcast where we sort of talk about the things that have happened in our lives in the last 24 hours, what's been happening in the world of entertainment, and just generally what's happening in the world. And I want to put this question out there immediately to everybody on Twitch and YouTube. How are you doing?
How are you doing?
How are you doing today? How have you been doing this week?
What
have you been working on?
Let's get real.
Yeah, let's get real.
How are you doing? Are you okay? And I mean that seriously. I'm not even trying to be facetious. How are you doing? We're all in this together. All of us. How are you doing? Let us know.
I don't even know how to follow that up. Just how are you doing?
Woo! Party! Let's go!
We've been having a lot of fun, though. Every single day we've been doing a whole bunch of different stuff. Today is a unique day because we like to read comic books. Mm-hmm. So after this, Malika is going to be doing some survival skills with Kaiju BB, who is our lovely house dog, our lovely mascot. Yeah. And then at 3 o'clock, we're going to be doing comics and coffee, where Zach and I are going to catch up on some comic books that came out today. And we're going to talk about them with you. Maybe we'll read something, too, if we have time.
I'm catching up on X-Men right now, and I just read X-Men number 7.
Yeah.
I was 2 issues behind. Holy fuck. That was so good.
Yeah.
That was so good.
I read 2 pages, and I was like,
Yo, they got a crucible in the X-Men now. Yeah. They're straight up murdering mutants.
It's straight up crazy.
Woo.
And then
give Apocalypse a sword. Get out of here.
Then after comics and coffee at 4 o'clock, we will be playing the Blockbuster Party game, which will be a whole lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to playing that. And then after that, we're doing a social watch along.
Cool beans.
Of
Cool beans. Cool
and I've never seen it. And Zach is always mind blown when I tell him I haven't seen a movie. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
No, you're going to be mind blown. I'm telling you.
Sure.
I tweeted this out, and I'm 100% certain you're going to have a coming to God moment.
Come to Jesus moment, as we like to call it.
We're going to have Lucas in here with us.
Yeah.
And I feel like 10 minutes into the movie, you're going to have this realization that the person you know as Lucas is this amalgamation of everything that is Hot Rod. It'll just click for you. Be like, oh, this is what raised Lucas Cookie Eubank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll 100%
It'll make sense.
understand his personality.
And the great thing about Hot Rod tonight, everyone can watch along.
Yes.
It's on Amazon Prime, it's on Netflix, and it's on Crackle, so you can watch even if you don't have Amazon Prime or Netflix.
It's actually also on YouTube. You can just rent it on YouTube for $2.99.
Anyone can join us tonight. Crackle is free. You will have to watch ads,
awesome.
so it'll put you behind a little bit.
Sure.
Ads will run and stuff like that, but you'll still be able to watch the movie. So anyone can join us now. I expect everyone to be there.
Everyone.
It's Hot Rod.
If the Lonely Boys don't show, or Lonely Island don't show up, we're gonna be very disappointed.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited to watch that movie. It's a shorty. It's only 87 minutes long. So once that wraps up at 7:30, we'll be doing Death Stranding. We'll be jumping back into Death
I'm
Stranding.
excited. I really want to jump back into Death Stranding.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. So we're doing movies every single week. And tomorrow we're going to be doing Cowboy Bebop, the first 4 episodes.
This is great. Can all of our tips be like this today? Can all of our tips? We just had a tip from the FDH. Hi, my name is Rod, and I like to party. Hi, my name is Zach, and I too like to party. Oh my God. Adam doesn't party.
My name is Adam, and I for sure like to party.
Okay, you got it. If every one of our tips that come in today is a quote from Hot Rod, I will have the best day ever. This is what we need in the middle of a pandemic.
We should have just set up our alerts to just be Hot Rod quotes.
Oh, I could have done it. Oh, this idea is too late.
I know. This is the problem with only having a 3-man crew. But we're super excited to have everybody here. Thank you guys so much for joining us. If you guys do want to support everything that we're doing, if you're enjoying what you're seeing every single day, you guys can tip and support. You can go to hyperrpg.live, use Streamlabs, or if you're on YouTube, you can use the Super Chat. If you have questions, we'll read them up at the end of the show. Or if you just want a tip to help support HyperRPG and everything that we're doing here every single day, you can do that as well.
That's true. Lucas is at home working. Somebody could just text him and be like, hey, can you reset up all our alerts to be Hot Rod quotes?
He did set them up for Camp Social Distance in the first place. And for anybody who's wondering, nobody's asked this question yet, but for anybody who is wondering, like, well, why are you, if you're doing Camp Social Distance, why are you two so close to each other?
We live together.
We live together. We run the studio out of our garage, and we live upstairs, and, you know, we got to keep on keeping on. Yeah. Providing entertainment to everybody.
And Malika will be joining you today for survival tips, and she, too, lives here with our dog. The 3 of us all live together, so we are practicing social distance. We have not left this house in over a week, and it's getting a little crazy. It's getting crazy, okay? We're feeling it. Things might get weird.
The most outside I've done is opening up the garage.
We opened the garage.
Outside. I passed the boundary line of the garage, and I'm like, that's enough.
Like you said, yesterday, Crank Gameplays showed up, and I think he was surprised to see that the garage was open, and he was bringing us a gift, which was a gift of face masks and gloves, which is the nicest gift to give someone in a pandemic. Yeah. And he just throws them through the garage into the floors. Bite. I didn't even see him.
No, he just he was literally in and out within.
Scat. It's like, oh,
seconds.
Don't get close to me.
Don't breathe on me. Yeah. Also, so normally what we do on this show is we kind of talk about things that have happened and all that sort of stuff. One interesting that was today that people were talking about this morning was Netflix had a bunch of outages in the United States and in Europe. And they did announce, and I don't know if they're done in the United States yet, but I know they did announce that in Europe, they were going to be cutting down the quality of the streams a little bit to try to help buffer out how many people are on the internet now, because everybody has nothing else to do, so of course they're going to be on the internet all the time. But it should be working fine now. So if there are any people who are worried about Netflix being down for them, it should be up and running now. So hopefully everything's good. Hopefully, we don't overflood their system every single day, but it's bound to happen at this point, So we'll see.
And YouTube is defaulting to 480p right now.
That's what I heard. So that's happening here as well, huh?
I don't know. That's Tiki Carrier. He's in Europe, so.
Oh, interesting.
They're in Europe, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting. So, I have a couple things prepped to talk about.
Well, do you now?
I do.
You brought some things to talk about?
I brought some topics to discuss.
I didn't even look at the document, so tell me what we're talking about today.
I didn't make one.
Which is par for the course here.
So it's been really, really challenging, because every day we wake up and there's just stuff to do from the second we wake up.
Yeah.
So I usually make a doc for all the topics that we discuss, but today was kind of nuts, so I just literally opened up tabs.
Let's be real. You and Malika both were up till 6 a.m. working.
It's true. We're dumb.
I woke up at 6 when Malika came upstairs.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So the second both of us went to bed, you were like, "Oh, I'm starting my day. What the fuck? What are you guys doing?"
All right.
I know. Well, that's kind of how it's been here every single day. It's been kind of cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. You know, we're doing what we can. But something that I did want to talk about that I think is very, very interesting is, there have been things that are being said, in the news recently about the potentiality of us going back to our normal life in 2 weeks. I think that's kind of batshit crazy.
It's bullshit.
I think that's going to do a lot more damage here in the United States and in other countries around the world who are just now starting to deal with the coronavirus. So I think it's a really, really bad call. But China, as far as we know, as far as we've been told, they have no new cases of the coronavirus, but that remains to be seen. But they are doing a big push to try to get people to at least go back to the movie theater. And it seems like they're using some really big titles to try to push people back to the cinemas. Movies like Avengers Age of Ultron, Infinity War, Endgame, Avatar. There's even been reports of a new 4K 3D restoration of the Harry Potter films. Things like Jojo Rabbit. A lot of stuff that maybe hasn't even shown up in China yet, that never made its way through because, as we all know, they've been dealing with the coronavirus, COVID-19, since December, I think. Mm-hmm. Right? That's like really when the really huge sort of shutdown of the whole entire country started. So I'm really, really curious to see if this is going to be something that will really encourage people to start not just leaving their homes, or not even just going to the theater alone, but just to leave their homes, period.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah.
I think as a culture, they're probably going to be more wary than we are in regards to going back out into public. So it'll be interesting to see how that works out. I am not confident in any way, shape, or form that by April 12th we'll be back to business as usual. I
don't believe it.
And I think especially when you know that states have a lot of control over that. Yeah. Gavin Newsom and Cuomo in New York, those two governors are not going to let things go back to modus operandi. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, they've been very active about, like laying down rules. I mean, just this weekend alone in Los Angeles, we had a lot of people who were going out, and I get it. I totally get it. It's the weekend. People have been in their house for 5 days. Mm-hmm. They need to get out. I totally understand that. At the same time, when you see all of these, hot spots in Los Angeles, like Runyon Canyon, all these like hiking areas are just filled with people.
Yeah.
Then of course Garcetti and then the governor Newsom, they're going to take even further steps to enforce people staying away from each other, because again, it's all about flattening the curve. The fact that that's not a T-shirt yet is amazing to me. But yeah, so it's going to be really interesting to see if people in China, and then just kind of like spreading outward from the places that are sort of in recovery mode, if this is going to work to get people back into cinemas. I don't know. I really don't know. I think even for us, not April 12th, but even 3 months from now, I really don't know how long it's going to take for me to feel comfortable going back to a theater.
It's going to be interesting because it's going to move in waves.
Yeah.
New York's getting hit hard now because of population density. It's eventually going to reach the Midwest, and it's going to start spreading to these smaller towns and things like that. But it's going to take time, especially with a up to 14-day incubation period. That's wild. Yeah. It's absolutely wild. So it's so hard for us to know if and how it's going to spread to these smaller communities if we don't all agree.
Yeah.
If it gets lifted and then people start traveling again, even though some people are staying home, it could still spread and could still cause issues further down the line.
What are we on? Are we on day 16?
I don't even know.
Because we've technically, I have not left the house. I think on Friday, it'll be 2 Fridays that I have not left the house. I guess at that point, it'll be 14 days.
14 days, yeah.
Yeah, 14, 15 days. But we also did a studio rebuild. So, we've all had very, limited exposure to the outside world.
We always have limited outside exposure.
It's true.
I mean, we work from home. Yeah. We're very fortunate in that way. And the big thing was people coming to us. But because we had the studio rebuild, we had a lot less people coming in and out.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, so I don't know. They did say that around 600 to 700 theaters have reopened for business, but I don't know. And I can't speak. I can only speak from my personal opinion and experience, but I can't imagine that I'm going to be rushing. I really do miss the movie theater. I really miss last night was a great example. We did a watch along of Birds of Prey, which, of course, Warner Brothers has blocked, so we didn't even show the movie, but whatever. But we do have a watch-along of Bloodshot that is still available on our YouTube channel and on our Twitch VOD.
Did Bloodshot get taken down?
It hasn't.
Oh,
no,
cool.
It's got over 2,000 views, so people are watching it.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Hey! I had no idea.
Yeah,
That's great.
So it's still up there. So if you guys, if you ended up buying Bloodshot, you can watch
I'll be goddamned.
Hot goddamn.
I know Birds of Prey got taken down immediately.
Oh, within
immediately
3 seconds of it going, of it ending. Yeah.
Well, hot damn.
Ridiculous.
It was a good time watching with everybody. It was really fun.
It was a lot of fun. I had a really good time, but I guess like the thing like that sort of made me realize how much I missed the movie theater going experience, because as much as like Bloodshot, it's like a totally okay passable movie. I didn't love it. I definitely did not hate it.
Yeah.
But that is a movie that I still would have liked to have joined in the theater.
Yeah.
And yesterday we had a conversation with Dinesh, who was one of the producers on Bloodshot. And, I asked him the question, like, do you think there will be any sort of plans to kind of like bring the movie back in the theaters? Or do you think that ship has sort of sailed? And he's like, yeah, once you
It's done.
do your big marketing push and you really push.
That being said, there are theaters in LA that will be playing movies that are old.
Oh, for sure.
So there's a chance.
Yeah.
There's a chance.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, we definitely have our discount theaters that will play stuff months and months and months later. And that doesn't mean that Bloodshot will never come back into a movie theater.
Yeah.
If they want to do it a year from now, they want to do some anniversary
It won't be
release, they
their
totally could.
choice.
Yeah.
It'd have to be the individual theater's choice.
Yeah, exactly. So it'll be interesting to see. But again, like I definitely am missing the movie theater going experience. We've kind of built it up as a routine. We hadn't done it for a while, but we started building it back up again, that every Thursday we go and watch a brand new movie.
Yeah.
We try to. And like that's part of the fun of like your life, is you take your friends, you go to a movie together, and like we're kind of missing that. But I think that's why the watch alongs have been so fun, because we're still being able to do that.
I'm enjoying these watch alongs a lot.
And now we're doing it with you guys, which I think is so
I
fun.
am really enjoying these watch alongs. I hope more of you tune in.
Yeah.
Overall, I hope more people tune in. Malika wanted us to give you a challenge.
Yes.
Okay. If you're enjoying this content, just tell one person, tell one friend. Like, hey, if you're lonely, if you're looking for somebody to help you fill that void, join us on HyperRPG. And we're here busting our butt to give you content every single day. And I'm really enjoying it. I really, honestly, had a great time watching Bloodshot and Birds of Prey with everybody last night. I cannot fucking wait to watch Hot Rod with everybody tonight. That's a community building experience right there, because it's just such a special movie for so many people.
Yeah.
And it's really great, and I hope you all can join us.
I also really love, we watched Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse last Friday.
I can't remember.
It was Friday. And we asked the people in the audience, we asked our chat room, and we said, like, who's watching this for the first time? And there was quite a few people who had never seen it before. And it was great to just see the chat room constantly moving and everybody being so excited about the style, the performance, the music, the action, and us being able to kind of play off of that and just, give our thoughts. And I've seen that movie. I mean, you saw it multiple times in theaters.
Yep.
And I saw it, I think, 3 times in theaters. And I've seen it on home video, I think, like 4 times. So I've seen it enough times now that I feel like I remember that movie very, very well. But every single time I watch it, it's so emotional and heartfelt.
And I know we've brought this story up a couple times, but we're watching Hot Rod tonight because our theory, while we were watching Spider-Man, about it being a reference to Hot Rod, ended up being correct after Blvd tweeted Phil Lord.
Yeah.
So
and Phil Lord responded.
Yeah. So it was like, well, let's fucking watch Hot Rod.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
God, if Phil Lord shows up tonight, that'd be amazing.
It's not going to happen.
Not going to happen. But
that's how it is. What other topics you got there you want to talk about, Adam?
So it's kind of more of the same, but a lot of it is, talking about like Italy, France, Spain grappling with streaming future amid coronavirus pandemic, and like a lot of stuff that we talked about is with a lot of these studios sort of shut down. I don't think this will be the case, but I've met people and I know people who at a certain point, they're kind of like, I think I'm kind of like, I can't find anything else to watch.
Yeah.
How is Netflix, a company like Netflix or Amazon Prime, how are they going to be able to push out new things for people to keep them entertained while we're all going through all of this? Like, I wonder how much of a challenge that's going to present. How many more deals are going to need to be struck with studios and film distributors to try to get more of their library onto their platforms? How is this going to, there was an article talking about, how is this whole thing going to affect a streaming service like NBC Peacock, who is supposed to be hosting the Olympics.
Yeah.
But now that's been delayed. So is the streaming service going to be affected by that? What are they going to do with their content? Are they going to push it to something like Netflix or to Amazon Prime? Like how is the digital streaming future going to be affected by this if somebody like Netflix can't make original stuff, but they have the potential to reach people through all these like classic libraries of content?
Yeah. I don't know. I already feel a little fatigued, and I'm down here every day.
Yeah.
It's almost like an oversaturation problem.
Yeah.
Which I imagine is people's problem on Twitch and YouTube too.
Sure.
We're trying to get people, convince them to come watch our content.
Yeah.
And everyone they know is streaming right now.
Yeah.
Literally almost everyone you follow on social media who's some sort of talent or industry individual, they're all streaming. So there might be like an oversaturation problem, you know?
I think for sure. I mean, I know that there was that statistic that came out that gaming is up 70%, which I think is great. I think is really, really cool. But if more people in general are playing video games, how many more people in general are now streaming all that stuff?
Oh, a lot.
You know,
a lot of
it's
people
a
are
huge
streaming.
number, yeah.
A lot of people are streaming. And there's more YouTubers streaming now. It's streaming in general is up so much.
Yeah.
But then you get that kind of like what's it called? Like choice paralysis. There's like an actual name for it, like
choice paralysis is a good name for it, though.
I can't remember the name of it, but you know, you kind of get overwhelmed.
Yeah, for sure.
And at what point do you just kind of stick with what you know and what's the most comfortable? But I don't know. It's a tough call. I mean, it's interesting to watch these things ebb and flow because we watch our stats so closely.
Yeah.
And it was like when all this first hit last week, the first 2 days, we saw in general way more people tuning in and being like, oh gosh, what's going on? You know, I gotta, you know, and it's been a steady decline. And I know other people have been able to have a steady increase. So it could be we could be the problem. It could be a content problem.
Yeah.
But it's been interesting to watch, like how those things have been like ebbing and flowing. And I would love to get more like detailed data sets of like how people are spending that time, what they're choosing to watch, and what services are actually seeing the biggest bump outside of Netflix.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, just for us alone, like literally the minute before we went live, I was telling Zach, you know, concurrent viewers on the YouTube side, there were 4. And I'm like, there's something wrong. There's no possible way that out of 126,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel, 4 people are coming in. It's like, is it a notification issue?
Yeah.
Is it our subscribers not having the bell turned on so they actually get a
But here's
bump?
another question. If every other person they're subscribed to is also putting out content more regularly
are they like
right
disabling now
is
notifications?
it that they said J Pistol says analysis paralysis.
Yeah,
That's what it's called.
analysis paralysis.
You know, it's like, because I know when you put out that post on YouTube about like, do you have the bell? Do you use the bell? And how many people said no because I follow so many people, it would just blow up my phone.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that's part of the issue because people are putting out way more content right now to try to grab those viewers, and they're stuck at home and can't leave.
Right.
So naturally they're putting out more.
Yeah.
So maybe everyone's inbox is just overloaded.
Yeah.
I know. Well, obviously there's some of you watching on YouTube, and some of our Twitch people cross over and watch on YouTube as well. Could you give us some insight on that, possibly, as a user? You know, is your YouTube inbox completely flooded with notifications? I'd love to know.
And I'd love to also know, you know, like what right now in the current time that we're in with everything happening, what is the type of content that you gravitate towards? Is it more of this podcast style content? Is it short form videos that are very topic based and that revolve around one thing? Is it vlogs? I'm really, really curious about, you know, what is the type of stuff that our audience in particular, you know, likes to watch. We have such a diverse range of content on our channel that sometimes it's hard to tell, you know, are people there to watch a show, a review, a person? You know, like those are all things that I would love to get a little more
Here's a
insight
couple
on.
interesting things for you because I know it's hard to get that answer on YouTube because they are watching, but on Twitch we have a lot of people who do sub to us on YouTube. Eli, he said YouTube's been having notification issues. Sagittarian said they didn't even get a notification today. Somebody said that and this is more to do with Twitch, that they follow and sub to us on Twitch, but we didn't even show up as live in their follow channels list. And then a whole bunch of people said they should be getting flooded with YouTube notifications, but they're not getting them. Didn't get a YouTube notification. So it sounds like YouTube's just not sending out that notification.
Yeah, and you know, YouTube is kind of in this like pickle right now where anything that you do relating, any videos that you try to make that relate and or mention anything related to coronavirus, COVID-19, they are being heavily sort of like hit by the bot. The bot that just goes around and just like, you know, automated checks and balances on what people are putting out on YouTube. And that's very frustrating. And I understand why, because I'm assuming that they want to limit the spread of misinformation. But for people like us, that really fucks us.
It does. Megalo Blazebond says sometimes they'll get a notification from YouTube that we went live a day late.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's nuts. Rebecca in the chat room on YouTube says, since starting the stream, I have gotten about 10 to 15 notifications.
Wow.
And I love gaming and commentary stuff, but I did find you guys thanks to Shelby. Thank you so much for being here.
Cool.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's really interesting how many people in our Twitch chat are saying that. Like somebody just said right now, they're only subscribed to 5 or 6 content creators on YouTube. all of us are putting out more content right now and no notifications from YouTube at all.
That's wild to me. Yeah. So, it's frustrating because, we put so much time and effort into, just preparing the stuff. So when we come here and we talk to you guys and we hang out with you, we want it to feel like it's a very much like a collaborative conversation with our community. And the fact that like the platform that we even push this out to is like, oh, we're not going to tell people you're even there.
It's really weird. It's really
so
strange. And I know we have that problem on Twitch too, but on Twitch, they give us data to show it's actually our audience that's the problem because our audience hasn't signed up for email notifications. The notification goes out, but a majority, we have on our Twitch audience, one of the highest percentage of channels on Twitch that community has not signed up for email notifications, which I kind of understand. We have an older tech-savvy audience who probably have junk email addresses or things like that, and they don't want to be like bothered with these notifications. But we've seen that when we go live, our audience gets one of the lowest numbers of notifications. And we've been talking with Twitch on like, how do we fix that? How do we make that clear? And how do we help with that? With YouTube, it seems to be like a totally different problem where they're clicking the bell, but they're just not even getting the notification. Yeah. And that really is sad. And it makes me realize, we're very fortunate to have over 100K subs on YouTube, but it makes me realize like they're kind of creating a situation where you can only succeed if you have 1 million, and you have to have that trickle down.
And even 1 million, I feel like is not, it's like tens of millions. And then it's like, oh yeah, we're going to really push you out there.
But even, and it's like when you think about that percentage base, 1 million's a lot more than 100,000.
Oh, for sure.
But, when we compare it to our friends who have 1 million and when they go live and they're getting between 800 to 1,000, think about how they feel too.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, I have 1 million.
Yeah.
And only this amount of percentage is getting notified to come watch my content.
It is mind-blowing when you look at it that way. Yeah. Because if you have millions of subscribers, you should have hundreds of thousands at the very least of live viewers in your chat room, even if everybody's not getting a notification. But if you have over 1.5 million or just 1 million subscribers and 1,000 people show up, you got to look at that and go, that doesn't make any sense. I don't understand that. Like that doesn't compute.
On the good numbers front, I want to give ourselves a pat on the back, and by ourselves, I mean our Giphy team. We just hit 6 billion Giphy views.
That's nuts.
It's insane. 6 billion Giphy views.
It's so crazy to me, and it shouldn't surprise me because it is 6 billion views, but the amount of GIFs of ours
I see celebrities use, other people. It's wild.
And I'm that guy who's always like, oh, cool. I always go and I'm like, oh, it's HyperRPG. It's wild. Like
it's
the
wild.
amount of people.
Our GIF team is phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's a shame that we have yet to figure out how to monetize Giphy in any way, shape, or form.
Damn it.
I would love to pay that team and be like, you guys are killer. Take this money.
Yeah, I know.
But we haven't figured it out yet, how to monetize it.
And I'm sure we all internally use a lot of our own Giphies because they're so great.
Yeah.
We have so many good ones. Anytime I can use tight, I use it. Anytime. They're so good. So
that's actually really sick. Thank you, Giphy team.
Yeah, thank you so much.
For absolutely killing it.
Christian on YouTube says, hey guys, great content. I live in London, and in my case, to be honest, in the last 2 weeks, I prefer to watch once every 2 to 3 days what a X or Y favorite channel has posted in those days. Good luck. That makes sense,
too. It makes sense. I mean, Twitch and YouTube are very different beasts.
Yeah.
YouTube, even the way I consume both. Twitch I feel like is more of a, you want to sit with that content. Those are people you go to every day. You're a part of their community. You sit there. And I think YouTube is like, I'm going to watch that content on my time.
Right.
When it's my time. And we are experimenting with this.
Yeah.
We're going live every day in the middle of a pandemic on YouTube. We've never done that before.
No.
It's a big experiment.
Yeah.
We go live on Twitch every day already. So, there's different expectations, I think, from our audience.
Yeah, and I think our audience is also just not accustomed to that sort of a thing. Like we've done premieres. Premieres are very different, which is interesting to me too, though, because when we do those premieres, a lot of people are asking, oh, is this live? Is this live? Is this live? But when we go live, a lot of those people are not here, and it's probably because of notifications.
Not getting the notification.
So it's like it's a really interesting balance to kind of try to figure out, because again, you look at a lot of other creators, and it's not necessarily like you could still take a lot of the stuff that we talk about on here, and a lot of it could be considered evergreen. But when a YouTube content creator is making a very specific video on a very specific topic that by nature is ultra evergreen, it doesn't matter if you watched it today, this morning, tonight, 2 days from now, you're still going to get that evergreen sort of like value out of it.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's very interesting. And this is a pretty big experiment for us to see.
Oh, it's a huge experiment. We're having to adapt or die.
Yeah.
everything that we're doing right now is adapt or die. Like so many people around the world right now who are trying to just make a living and survive. It's adapt or die. And, you know, we built our content a certain way, and we're having to adapt to do it a different way.
Yeah.
And we'll see if it works, and hopefully it does. And hopefully 4 months from now we can look back and be like, we got through it. But, you know, knock on wood.
I know. That's the crazy part is always, like, just having to adapt and experiment to see, like, at the end of the road of all of this stuff of, like, well, what really, really worked?
Well, speaking of adapting or dying, I've been thinking about this a lot lately. I saw some posts in our community, and I've seen other friends online posting that they started off by working from home but then got laid off. And I have a lot of friends in LA who've been laid off because they were private contractors and they were on a private contract schedule, and those are the first people to lose their jobs. The salary employees are going to keep their jobs first. Private contractors go. I get it, but that's a lot of people. So we started a room on our Discord this morning called Looking for Work. If you've been laid off or let go, or you're extremely worried about your financial situation, feel free to post in that room your skill set, that you've been let go, and you know that you are looking for work. I really believe that the Thumper community can help each other out, and that we can kind of come together to, you know, hopefully fill that void for the people who really need it. So some of us in the Thumper community are like myself and Adam in more executive positions, and they might be able to say, oh, I really need somebody to do this kind of thing, and it just so happens this person posted in our Discord that they can do that kind of thing and they could do it remotely, you know. So I'm really if just one story comes out of that, just one, that somebody was able to find a little bit of work to help them through this, I'll be extremely like happy, and it'll be worth it. So feel free to say something in that room.
So this is something that actually just came through, which is kind of crazy. AMC Theaters has announced AMC Theaters furloughs all 600 corporate staff, including the CEO. Everyone is on leave of absence. Let me see here. The country's largest cinema circuit announced the drastic move on Wednesday, a week after closing all of its locations amid the coronavirus pandemic. By late last week, more than 26,000 employees working for AMC Theaters were furloughed or let go as the circuit shuttered amid the coronavirus pandemic. On Wednesday, the country and world's largest cinema chain went even furloughed all of its 600 corporate employees, including CEO Adam Aron. The drastic furlough plan, a result of no income but fixed costs, means a person could work anywhere from 0 days to 2 days to 4. At this time, AMC is not terminating any of its corporate employees. However, we were forced under the circumstances to implement a furlough plan, which is absolutely necessary to preserve cash and to ensure that AMC can reopen our doors once the health crisis has dissipated.
The most terrifying aspect of that is they're the last company I thought would have to do that.
I know. We talked about this a lot. And, and I remember we were talking, and you were like, oh, AMC will be fine. And I mean, because I think a lot of people forget this, that movie theaters make very, very little money on ticket sales.
Yeah.
Movie theaters
People have to be in the theater.
People have to be in the theater, and the theater makes a majority of its revenue on concession items. That's why a lot of stuff tends to be expensive, because the less people go, I imagine that they probably have to increase the cost, which I'm sure they don't want to do, because I imagine that they assume like that's going to discourage people from coming. Yeah. So it's a tricky situation. They also say the furlough plan calls for reduced working hours at reduced pay, or no working hours at no pay, for the hopefully short period of time when AMC theaters are all closed. This action impacts every corporate AMC employee, including all those at the highest executive levels and including AMC's chief executive officer. Whew.
That's rough. I mean, Waffle House closed down 365 locations yesterday.
Yeah.
And I know that was trending on Twitter because of the Waffle House index that FEMA uses to determine how bad a natural disaster is, especially hurricanes, because they're supposed to be damn near indestructible.
Yeah.
Waffle Houses have their own special menus to reduce costs in times of disaster. Fucking wild.
Yeah.
We're living in unprecedented times.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we say this a lot, but in our lifetime, we haven't lived through anything like this.
Right.
And it's going to take all of us working together, being good human beings to get through this. And I think it's important that we always remember, no matter how bad we have it and how scary it might be, there's someone out there who's got it worse, and we have to remember to take care of each other. We just absolutely have to. It's gonna get worse before it gets better, but we got to be here to help each other out.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is very, very tough. And every company and every industry and every company within those industries are having to adapt in very different ways, and this other article that I have pulled up here talks about animated series and how they're really, really trying to keep production going amid everything that's going on. And the Simpsons, for example, what they're doing is they're doing a lot of virtual table reads. In terms of the actual production of how that's being done, we talked about a couple of days ago how the visual effects industry is really trying to convince studios to let visual effects artists work from home.
Yep.
And because of the NDA and the contractual limitations and obligations of all that stuff, it makes it very, very, very difficult. In terms of animated series and all that stuff, I'm sure every single studio has their own very specific set of rules. But I would imagine that shows like Family Guy, Simpsons, Bob's Burgers, and all that sort of stuff, there is probably a much more lenient code of ethics or rule book as to like
they're
what
not
they
as
can
worried
do.
about spoilers and
Exactly,
things like that.
exactly.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I can't imagine something like Black Widow. Me
Yeah.
being able to go upstairs and go work on Nuke on Black Widow. That's not
gonna happen.
Not a thing that's gonna happen. So it's gonna be interesting to see just like how every industry adapts to this. And movie theaters, we talk about it quite a bit. There's a lot of people who are worried about the movie theater industry. And when Bloodshot, Birds of Prey, and all these movies were coming out from theater straight to digital, there was a huge worry that like this could be something that kills the movie theater experience.
But here's the thing I feel deep down about that stuff, and in all honesty,
Yeah.
it will come back.
Yes. I think
When
so
it-
too.
And this is what I want to say in regards to the economy in general. These things may go away, but we can rebuild an economy. We can't bring people back to life. So we have to be vigilant, we have to be smart, and we have to be like strong at a worldwide stage when we're in the middle of a pandemic where, we can bring the economy back. We can bring movies back.
Yeah.
And it might be hard and it might make a lot of people hurt, but that's still easier to do than dealing with more and more deaths and more hurt
Right.
in that regard,
Yeah.
These are all things we can bring back. So no matter how much things change, they're not fucking going anywhere. It's not like the tech and the ideas that we've created are all of a sudden lost to history.
Yeah.
They're here. They're here to stay.
They still exist.
They still exist. They'll be back. But we can't bring people back. So however long this takes, I'm fine. I can deal without having new movies for the next 8 months.
Yeah.
Honestly, a whole fucking year. If there's not a single new release in theaters, who cares? There's literally 100 years of content. 100. I can't even get through every good fucking movie between now and 365 days from now. It's impossible.
No, it's impossible.
I can't even get through the entire Criterion collection.
Yep.
So the art's still there, and we still have a way we can experience this stuff and discover new things without new things being made.
Yeah, and you think about how many films, TV shows, comic books, all that sort of stuff, music exists from around the world. Hundreds of millions of titles.
Yeah.
For us to consume. So yeah, I'm in the same boat, and I've said it. And look, whether it happens or not, who knows. But I wouldn't be surprised if every major release from 2020 ends up pushing the movie release schedule for the next couple years.
Yep. Olympics have been moved officially
Yeah.
to 2021, as they should.
Yeah.
So, and movies and stuff too. Like it's not going anywhere. It's
just gonna be a cascading effect of delays, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. It's better than the alternative.
I know. How much did you get a chance to read into this $2 trillion stimulus plan?
I have not, and I usually would. I'm usually really, really on the up and up on that stuff. Just been a little too busy.
Yeah.
I hate even saying this, but I have to trust that the government will figure it out.
Yeah.
And I just have to put my trust in that because our daily stresses. And I feel like that's a scary thing to say because I know that like the second you start putting too much trust in that is when things start to get out of control and
Right.
everybody should be questioning and calling their local representatives and telling them what's important to them. But usually I would. The one thing I've heard, and I want people to correct me if I'm wrong on this.
Yeah.
Please correct me if I'm wrong. I heard that you need to be filling out your most recent census to be eligible for any sort of stipend or payout that may come to you as an individual.
Gotcha.
So if you have not filled out your census yet, make sure you do so. You can do it online, and you most likely got it in the mail a week or two ago in the middle of all this stuff. That is what I was told. And I hate even repeating it because usually I would research that before I dare repeat it on the air. But let me know in the chat room if that's a requirement and if I was being led astray, because I want to know immediately if that's bullshit. So some of our more tech savvy individuals, Google that shit and research it. Because somebody messaged me in my family even and said you had to have, like, that was one of the stipulations. It may have just been taxes from last year, and that makes sense.
Gotcha.
Like if you filed your taxes last year, hopefully not your 2020 taxes, because that'd be stupid. They're basing it on 2018 AGI. Anything about that? 2018 tax filings are related. Okay, that's good. That's good. We're going off 2018 tax returns. That's good news. That's good news. Well, I'm glad we're having a discussion about it, because I'm like, usually I wouldn't say anything, but I want to have a discussion.
Yeah, I would have loved to have had the time
to
look more into this, but it's tough. It's like I get it. Everyone needs some sort of support, some sort of help right now, and we see it. We see it so, especially our industry has been hit so incredibly hard. Hundreds of thousands of jobs have been lost, just because of everything that's been going on. So yeah, and I know a lot of these people, I'm sure, who are unemployed or are not having money coming in, are absolutely terrified, like what's going to happen in the near future to them. When it comes to the living situation, how are they going to be able to, have food if they need to go out and get food? How are they going to be able to afford gas for their car?
Yeah.
The car maintenance, just like all that stuff. It's amazing to me when you're in a situation like this and you really have a chance to sit and look at like what your life is. How much how much money is constantly going out, instead of going into your pocket.
So it looks like the overall general consensus of the Twitch hive mind is that your 2018 tax returns, you can still file those if you need to. I'm trying to figure out now, because I've been fighting with the government over my tax returns from 2018. Hopefully that keeps me eligible. And then census typically is for money allocation for states and local governments in the future, which I know makes sense. I know that makes sense. That's typically how censuses are used in the first place. It's to allocate money to things like that. But then again, I don't know. I was really on the up and up with the first package and why it was turned away, and I didn't get a chance to read all the things that were fought for and put back in. I did read from a political reporter somewhere that now the amount is like a $1,200 check, and maybe not, you wouldn't get it till like May.
Oh, wow.
And how that's not actually going to help people. A lot of people are upset by that because it's not actually going to help. And a lot of people and a lot of people in government were putting forward more aggressive plans to help smaller people who are going to be the most hurt by this. I don't know. I feel like there's always going to be a big general debate of like, do we really believe in trickle-down economics? Like, do we really believe that by saving giant companies, you're going to help the little guy in the long run? I constantly debate no, because I've lived in poverty as a struggling artist for a large portion of my life. I've been in debt up to my eyeballs since I got out of college. I haven't even had a bank account in over a year. And I've never got to see much proof that shit works. It often feels like when you just see the people at the top who are rich get richer, and richer, why the wage disparity in America just continues to grow, and grow. It's really hard for me to have confidence that by giving the richest people more money, they're going to start giving it to everyone who needs it.
Yeah.
Without actual government mandated regulations that say you kind of have to.
Right.
Yeah.
Feels
like often it's the little people that get stepped on. So
yeah, that's true.
We at this company have a lot of belief in CEOs not making profit, not having profit margin share, and all that kind of stuff, and like that. I just don't. I don't agree with that stuff at all. Like ethically.
Yeah. So here's something that's really, really cool that is being offered right now. I think it was Patrick Stewart who actually announced this, that CBS All Access is giving fans of Star Trek and just anyone who is generally interested in the app 1 month of free service.
Okay.
Which I think is really cool.
That's cool.
I believe it's the season finale of Picard is coming up, or it just happened. So they wanted to give people an opportunity to use that 1 month trial to try to catch up and watch everything. And, I'm sure it is to gain general interest in the app, to see people will stick around with it. But for
this week is the finale.
I think it's the finale, yeah. for someone like me who I like Star Trek, but I'm not like a diehard. It's not something that I seek. But you're going to give me 1 month free access to an app. That's a bunch of new shows that I can now go and watch. They've got the Twilight Zone on there from Jordan Peele. They've got Star Trek Discovery. Now they have the Picard show. I think I'm not sure when the other new Star Trek shows are supposed to debut, and I'm sure there's plenty of other stuff. So it's like if you're right now looking for an opportunity to maybe watch something new, I would check out CBS All Access.
That's interesting because I feel like Picard's another show that had great discussion and hype, and then the second it comes out, you stop hearing about it.
Yeah.
And this happens a lot with streaming shows,
It does.
especially week-to-week streaming shows. And I think it has something to say for why Netflix has adopted this binge model. Outside of HBO, which has somehow figured out a way to keep people talking about their shows every week, a lot of these shows that are dropping on services like Disney Plus and
I would say Mandalorian is the one exception because
but even
of
then
Star Wars.
in the middle it got, it lost a lot, and luckily the finale kind of brought a lot of people back. But there's a lot of shows that came out on even CBS All Access and other networks like that where they went weekly or they're weekly, and you get all this hype about it coming out, and then once it's out, don't really hear anything about it.
Yeah, and it's interesting too because I feel like Netflix, while their binge model is something that I feel like it keeps the conversation going very strongly in the first 72 hours, like the first 4 to 5 days. I think it's a very strong, like Stranger Things season 3, for example. People talked about it nonstop for the first week.
And then it's done. Done.
With Mandalorian, even though they had like a pretty big lull in the middle, a lot of people 8 weeks later were then talking about it.
If you can make it work.
Yeah.
If you can make
it's
it
such
work.
a like, tricky balance of like, how do you exactly figure out what that perfect formula is to get people talking about it every single week?
I feel like Watchmen was like this. It started off with a little bit of hype, and then as the show kept going, the hype just kept growing.
And I also do think that show, uniquely, it also, like its audience also did the same thing. Like the hype and the conversation went up.
Yeah.
Like for me, I was a late adopter into that show. I waited 4 weeks into the show before I started, and then we binge watched the first 4 episodes, and I was hooked. And everybody in my Twitter feed, as soon as I feel it was weird, and I didn't influence this, but as soon as I started really like paying attention to the show, my feed, I started to see my feed, everyone was talking about Watchmen. So yeah, it's really interesting to see, we still have, NBC Peacock, HBO Max. How are those streaming platforms looking at things like CBS All Access and Netflix and Amazon and seeing, what different things, like Amazon, for example, I mean, I don't know. I don't really know their slate of shows that incredibly well, but I don't really see people tweeting too much regarding Amazon Prime stuff. It mostly feels like it's Netflix or like HBO, but I could be wrong. I don't know how many people tweet about the wonderful or whatever it's called, Mrs. Maisel.
Miss Maisel got a little bit more traction than others, and Fleabag and stuff like that. But I think in general, Amazon has some marketing issues and just an optics issue.
Yeah.
Nobody really wants to publicly support Bezos. He's not really a guy that you want to go out on a limb and be like, yo.
Yeah.
And technically, Bezos owns us.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
true.
Baby Boy owns Twitch, and most of our revenue comes from that platform. And I don't know. I feel like it's just an overall optics issue of just not getting much support. I think The Boys had a lot of traction. A lot of people were talking about The Boys when it came out.
I need to catch up on that show.
Yeah. But a lot of stuff on Amazon, I feel like gets released and forgotten. And Netflix has got like that too. Again, it might be that analysis paralysis where it's just they're dropping so much stuff.
Yeah.
What do you talk about?
True. This is something really, really interesting that I didn't know was a thing. Instagram is now letting you browse posts with friends over video chat to promote social distancing. Oh, man. Everyone's just trying to capitalize on this fucking thing.
Yeah.
Super, super interesting. Yeah, I know that they do have like some sort of new feature that allows you to bring in, I think, like multiple feeds and stuff. But I think it's so interesting that you can have like a watch party of people's Instagram feed. Of an Instagram feed.
Weird,
right?
Weird.
Like let's go to HyperRPG's Instagram and just like look at their shit. That's weird. That's really weird. It says Instagram is ramping up its efforts to combat coronavirus-related misinformation on its platform while also giving people tools to promote healthy behavior during the COVID-19 pandemic. These new measures are in addition to the company's existing misinformation policy, which Instagram has been actively enforcing alongside parent company Facebook over the course of its virus's spread over the last 2 months. Part of this new effort includes a new feature Instagram is calling co-watching, which will let you browse posts with your friends over in-app video chat. The feature can be accessed by starting a video chat through the Instagram Direct Messages tab and tapping the photos icon in the bottom left of the video chat screen. It lets you look at saved, liked, and recommended posts together as a group.
Okay.
Weird.
Okay.
Weird.
Okay.
Weird.
Oh, you know what we forgot to mention about today?
What's up?
Well, we got goals today.
No, we do have
We have goals every day, all right?
And we also have a new shirt.
We have a new shirt. You want to see it? Boom! Check that shit out. Woo! HyperRPG.live if you want to get our new T-shirt. For sale right now. Only 100 for sale?
Oh, it's so funny. So someone in the chat room on YouTube was asking about the shirt, and I didn't see it until right now.
Woo!
But there it is, baby!
Only 100 for sale?
Yeah, and I think
limited edition?
we sold about 15 to 20 shirts.
Okay. All right. Limited edition right now. Camp Social Distance shirt for sale. And you can pick that up on hyperrpg.live. But we do have goals every day because we are a company and we're trying to keep Adam paid. I haven't been on payroll in a long time. I could give a shit about that. I'm a bum that lives in this house. I'm not even kidding. I am the bum that just happens to be I'm just here. I just wake up in the morning. I eat your food. Yeah.
Did you say you eat my food?
Well, I mean, you gotta label it, bro.
My God, how dare you son of a bitch.
You gotta label that shit, man. But we want to make sure we can keep paying our employees and keep the lights on here at the company and keep putting out great content for you. So we do have a goal every single day, and you can go to the same place you would go to get the merch, hyperrpg.live, to support us directly, and that is direct. There is no better way to support us than just fucking direct like that. It's not going through some other service. It's literally going right to us and helping us pay the people who work for this company. But every time we hit one of our goals, which is every 500, you get to join our special camp that I am running this week. It's a camp club that's in our Discord, and we're going to be doing special activities together at the end of the week. And so far, only one person that's been that has joined my club has actually talked to me. I'm not upset about it. We've been giving these away, and people are now a part of my club, but then nobody talks to me. So whatever, it's cool. It's fine.
We're definitely trying to find more ways to engage with our community. And so I thought it was a great idea to try to find something that we can do we call it one-on-one, but it's technically Zach or myself or Malika with a group of people. Yeah. And, throughout the week, if we hit our goal every single day we'll pull, I think we're doing 2 people a day if we hit our goal, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's every 500. Every 500. If we got some crazy day.
Right.
It could just keep giving them away. But
exactly.
Every 500, we are giving that away. We're also giving away some movie codes every 500, and we order food for us here as a crew. And Adam brought up something really great today. So if we hit our first goal, our lunch today, Pablitos. Okay? Pablitos.
I know Augustine is in the chat room, so I know he knows about Pablitos Tacos.
Pablitos Tacos.
Go on their Instagram right now and just look at their family, course that they're offering.
I can taste that lunch right now. They got this stuff they call the crack sauce. It's a green sauce. They call it crack sauce. I don't know why they call it crack sauce.
Because it tingles your jingles, I guess. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. It's so
Pablitos,
good.
That's Peruvian?
Is it?
Is it Peruvian?
I don't know.
What
Should I look it up?
Check it out. It's like one of those hybrids.
It is TJ Peruvian style.
Peruvian style. That's right. Because they have just
so much good stuff.
So much good stuff. That's what we're going to be ordering for lunch today if we hit our first goal.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Augustine says, "Woo! Get them tacos!
Tacos, baby!"
Yeah.
I love the Pablitos. I want to support them too because it's a really small operation.
And
we've been
really
been trying when we do order food to order from some of our favorite small locally owned, and that's honestly one of the things. I'm just gonna have a little moment about why I love Los Angeles as a city. Yeah. I've lived in a lot of other cities in this country, and I know LA gets a bad rap. LA gets a bad rap from a lot of people. Some of those things are pretty just. I understand what some people are upset about. But one of the things I love about Los Angeles is this is a city just fucking filled with people trying to make their own way. Yeah. And that comes from food, production, industry, whatever, small businesses. For as expensive as it is to live in this city, it is filled with small businesses. And often you go to those small businesses instead of chains. And I mean that for lots of things. My favorite hardware store is just in a strip mall down the street. I would go there before Home Depot.
Yeah.
And I worry about those businesses and all this. They've been there for years. Think about fucking Magnolia Street. That place feels like it's an LA landmark.
Filled with
old
places.
Old businesses that feel like they've been there since the 50s.
Yeah.
And they're somehow still alive. And they're fucking weird businesses, too, that you don't find in other big cities.
Yeah.
You just don't.
Magnolia feels like such a small town Main Street vibe.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's
And
one street
you'll
in
find that
Burbank.
stuff in smaller cities in America, but not big cities. And I think that's what really makes LA special to me, is it really just feels like it's all these people out there fucking busting their ass together to really like to make it. You know, and whatever that means in America, to make it. And we've been trying any chance we get to like support those companies because I'm worried for them. I'm worried for that whole street, man.
All those businesses.
When Malika and I had to run to pick up our grocery order on Sunday, we drove down Magnolia, and no one, of course, was every single one of those shops is closed. And we were just like, I don't know how it's going to survive. I don't know how that street will survive this.
Yeah.
And it's wild because it's like a treasure. Weird oddity stores.
I want my Atomic Records to survive.
Right?
They have such good Blu-ray deals there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild.
It's crazy. And, you know, I know you shouldn't be going out. We've been doing a thing where when we order from someone, they drop it at the door. We then sterilize and then wash our hands when it comes in, remove it from its packaging, throw the packaging away, wash hands again, you know.
I mean, we're washing hands all. I mean, I go like to just anything. Any single time I touch something in this house, and it's only us three who are here. But anytime I'm always like, all right, cool, I'm going to go wash my hands, wash my hands, wash my hands, wash my hands. That's like, that and staying home is the thing that will hopefully prevent a lot of the spread from happening.
I really, really hope so. Before we throw it up to Malika upstairs, which, by the way, if any of you watching right now love dogs, Malika's segment today for Survival Skills with Malika is about taking care of your dog and keeping your dog healthy and active during all of this while you're stuck at home. So she's going to be doing an hour-long segment right after this with Kaiju. It's going to be an hour-long segment with Kaiju. It's probably going to be the best content we've had all week.
Probably.
Just put the dog in front there. But we had some support come in. I wanted to read these out. Fegs252 said, cool beans? Cool beans.
Oh, my God.
Cool beans. Oh, man, I'm telling you, hot rod quotes all day. Let's do it. Uberbaldi tipped to say Zach doesn't even have a bank account.
Okay.
I can say it, Uberbaldi, because that's my lack thereof. You can sit on it and spin.
Whoa.
S&D Works said, as a Dave, I got to be honest with you, Zach. You look like a giant eagle with fire all around you. I love it. Hot rod tonight, baby. Hot rod tonight.
Oh my God.
Steverus said, I'm helping. Thank you so much, Steverus. Jaeger08 Larson said, from one bum to another, greetings from the northern wastes of Europa. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. And if you are a bum like me, keep your fucking money. Keep it. You're going to need it. The world's ending. Keep it. I wish I had some.
The world's on fire.
Keep it.
My God.
I'm never leaving this place because it's my only safety net. Everyone here has to take care of me. Adam has to provide for me. I'm not leaving. He's stuck with me.
Oh, my God.
Oh, and then Peak One just jumped in and said, dogs are great content. Thank you all so much. Y'all are great.
Yeah.
Y'all are great.
Lee Mitchell on YouTube says, you're doing a great job under the circumstances. Keep up the great work. Look after yourselves. Watching from the UK. Thank you so much. Watching the last few months, but it keeps me sane during these times. Thank you guys so much. Really appreciate it. Hey, big shout out to Augustine. He's in the chat room. Say hello to him.
Augie, can I say it's been great to see you in here this week. Miss you, man. Hope you're doing okay. That's all I had to say.
I miss my friends.
Yeah.
God damn it.
We miss you guys. I miss giving you the side eye as I walk upstairs while you're shooting on Fridays in my living room. I say mine like I pay for this place, but we've established. I'm like, I sleep on that couch. What the fuck are you doing here?
Oh, man. Well.
Thank you, Steverus. Not Steverus. Matt gets it right, and Zach never could. Why is that?
Uh-oh.
I'm going to keep calling you Steverus, especially now that you told me you don't want me to. That's how this works.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. But, guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you guys so much for watching. We really appreciate you guys coming and hanging out with us.
Thumper fam is the best.
Every single day. We're going to keep doing this every single day until God knows what happens. Hopefully it doesn't get any worse, but we're going to be here every single day hanging out with you guys. We do HyperCast we do HyperCast on YouTube and on Twitch. Everything else that we do, minus comics and coffee, we do on Twitch. So if you want to continue watching, jump over to twitch.tv/hyperrpg. We're going to have Malika and our wonderful mascot dog. And then at 3 o'clock, Zach and I will be back to do comics and coffee.
I got to cram comics
a bunch of books
right now.
I know.
We have to move a bunch of equipment. We have to make sure Malika's good. We got to get all that set up. And then we've got like 30 minutes to read as many comics as possible.
And then we're going to do board gaming, hot rod, video games.
Blockbuster game. You'll all be able to play along in the
stuff.
chat. It's a movie trivia game. It'll be really fun to have you guys playing along with us in the chat. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time. We'll see you guys tomorrow, or we're going to see you guys on Twitch.
Stick around.
Meow.
Lots of good fun stuff. Stick around. Don't go anywhere. Right here. Stay here. Watch us.
Don't go anywhere.
Where else are you going to go? You're stuck in your
Where
homes.
the fuck you gotta
We're
go?
all in this together. Still there.
Oh, hell yeah.
I've
Been doing a lot of these. I guess the camera doesn't switch when I nod.
I forgot that he went to go walk the dog and then came back.
He just let the dog out. He was there the whole time.
I've been here.
He's just been there.
Cool.
I've just been vibing.
Wait, which one should I make?
Let's ask Adam.
Okay, let's ask Adam. Let's ask Adam.
Adam!
Do you have to feed Adam? No, I don't.
Adam!
Have to. I just don't want to be wasteful.
Adam! Adam! Adam!
Are you gonna like yell through the floor?